The Philippines are a little slice of paradise in the Pacific Ocean. And yet volcanoes often erupt here, earthquakes strike, and several times a year typhoons and tsunamis sweep in. But lately this island nation of 100 million has been making the news not because of natural disasters, but because of its president. Meet Rodrigo Duterte.
We tend to compare him to Donald Trump. He also likes to shock the public.
For example, among other things, he is an idol to prostitutes. First as a mayor in his city, and later as president, he banned the arrest of sex workers.
It's human. You can't give everyone a job, and this is the oldest profession. Women do this everywhere, and personally I don't see anything criminal in it.
He also sees nothing criminal in kissing voters.
I don't make a move on any of them, although there really are women who come up to me and purse their lips. Then I can kiss them. What's the big deal? As for me, this is a kind of way to bring joy to people.
His loud statements helped bring him victory in the 2016 election. Duterte was generous with promises.
I promise to crush corruption in the highest levels of government, drug trafficking, and other crime within 6 months.
And Filipinos knew from his previous political experience that Duterte does not throw words to the wind. Rodrigo led the city of Davao for nearly 2 decades, and managed to turn it from a crime capital into the country's safe business center. And the changes there happened in a far from democratic way.
This is a total pursuit. We are all human. I want them first, and as for criminals, I have only one argument. I say, stop, or I'll kill you.
Rodrigo Duterte's methods of fighting crime in the Philippines have been recognized as among the most brutal in the world. There are thousands of victims of the anti-drug campaign. Human rights activists and countries of the Western democratic bloc are repeatedly forced to express concern, though in Manila they don't pay much attention to it.
We haven't been anyone's colony for a long time, and if one of them thinks he can tell me what to do here, I have an answer for them. Go to hell, you pigs.
Among Duterte's most popular nicknames is Punisher, like the comic book hero who single-handedly and brutally set things right. Or Duterte Harry, a nod to Dirty Harry, the cop from the film of the same name who didn't play nice with criminals. And these are not just artistic comparisons.
Yes, I killed. They were criminals. 3 people with 1 car. They tried to escape. I tracked them down near the victim's house.
Duterte still considers drugs and everything connected to them the Philippines' greatest curse.
Hitler killed more than 3 million Jews. I have 3 million drug addicts, and I'd be happy to get rid of them.
At the same time, from his personal funds he paid for the construction of a rehabilitation center for drug addicts with several thousand places. In addition, he is known for hurling curses at those who criticize him. Rodrigo Duterte had to take justice into his own hands in the late 1980s, when he was elected mayor of Davao City. A metropolis with nearly 2 million residents resembled a city of sin, simply breathing danger. Gangster clans, Islamist separatists, and communist guerrillas fought for power and influence in the city. Duterte ruled the city for almost 20 consecutive years and changed its face. It was a dirty job.
I began to think that this was a bad job. I couldn't take it anymore. I consoled myself with the idea that we kill bad people, not good people. But everything changed after the murder of 3 young girls. And then I realized that it was my fault too. They were not only killed with knives in the car, they were also raped.
Edgar Matabato was a member of one of these death squads. He confessed to killing 50 people supposedly on Duterte's orders.
No, I don't know him. This is a false witness. He claims to have been a bodyguard. So when was he supposed to kill someone there?
In the 90s, death squads were recruited from people ready to carry out any orders. The past did not matter. Teams of cops and amnested criminals began hunting down crime bosses and drug dealers together. Duterte himself sometimes joined the raids on his bike. By the way, he still has weapons with him.
This is an Uzi, a 9mm piece, and this is an Israeli Desert Eagle. That's a good thing.
Security forces were given the right to shoot suspects without trial or investigation. A terrifying terror against crime brought results.
Duterte managed to suppress any violations, effectively intimidating everyone so much that no one dared to break the law in broad daylight.
Duterte won the support of the elite, who wanted to do business and be able to walk outside calmly. As a result, the city began to flourish, eventually turning into a dynamic center of trade and tourism. On the other hand, the flywheel of terror was already hard to stop. Among its victims began to appear not only drug dealers, but also Duterte's political opponents. Among the victims was the controversial journalist Juan Pala, who accused Rodrigo of corruption.
Yes, Duterte ordered him.
By the way, persecution of the opposition in the Philippines continues to this day.
Mr. Duterte, I'm not afraid of you.
More than 3,000 people died in anti-drug operations in Davao. Along with criminals, there were also innocent people, or people unfairly accused.
In 2001, my eldest son Richard was accused of raping someone. He insisted he was innocent, and there was no evidence. They tortured him, and then each of my children.
For Duterte, a forceful response to crime does not require additional sanctions.
If I were a father and you kidnapped, raped and killed my daughter, do you think I would wait? Would my rage await judgment? Seriously? No, I would kill you. So what's wrong with the elimination of criminals on the spot? If you're destroying my country, get ready and know. I will come for you and kill you.
4,000 people killed without trial or investigation, alleged drug dealers, is the official statistic from the start of Rodrigo Duterte's presidency. How many criminals, and how many civilians among them, actually died at the hands of security forces during anti-drug raids remains a question without an answer. Duterte's ratings show that Filipinos are, for now, ready to give up some rights. After all, Duterte's anti-drug campaign did make life in the Philippines safer. But on the other hand, considering the brutality and downsides of fighting crime, where innocent people often get caught up, there are plenty of those disappointed with such methods too.
It would be good to ease this drug policy. People who are even somehow connected to drugs, and these are civilians, innocent people, they are simply killed.
But the Philippine Donald Trump rarely accepts criticism, and he does not choose his words.
I heard that the European Union condemns my fight against the drug business. Well, I'll answer, go to hell. Seriously? Britain, France, Germany are telling me about human rights. Look at your history, hypocrites. I will repeat again. Go to hell.
After Barack Obama expressed concern about human rights in the Philippines, Duterte responded with mocking. And with the announcement of a new direction in his country's foreign policy. A former critically important ally of the US in the Pacific Ocean set a course toward Beijing.
I have nothing against the US. Donald Trump is my friend, but countries of the Western Bloc are often hypocritical in their relations with us, so I see a chance for the Philippines to break through in a new alliance with China and, perhaps, Russia.
This statement shocked the White House, because Duterte announced the new doctrine without any consultations with his foreign ministry, which meant a diplomatic scandal. Although Duterte had been ready for confrontation for a long time. Despite claims of closeness to the people, Rodrigo's life differed greatly from that of most ordinary Filipinos. He comes from a governor's family, meaning from the start he belonged to the elite of society.
We were in politics from the age of 3, and it continued to 15, 16, 17, and up to 18. Growing up in a political environment is not very easy. Mom was constantly busy with work, and Dad was the governor. We all grew up on our own, independently.
The need for attention from eternally busy parents grew into youthful rebellion.
His character is a whole mixture, rudeness and toughness from his mother, but his soft heart and kindness from his father. For some time he was a kind of rebel. He would come home at 4 in the morning, even though we were only allowed to stay out until 6 in the evening. He could take his mom's car despite her ban. He would push it out of the garage and start it somewhere around the corner so no one would hear.
Since school he deliberately escalated conflicts at home, and in public he was a typical rich kid.
As a brother he was very tough. When he was reasonable for 10 minutes, that was happiness, otherwise he was uncontrollable. He could show up and take me away from a party, he could ruin it and get into a fight with someone. Everyone was afraid of him, he was the governor's son.
Sometimes the antics of young Rodrigo were on the edge of common sense.
I remember his pilot's license. When he got it, he got into a plane and put on a show for us. He almost flew the plane into our house window. You could really see the plane from the window. Back then he still didn't know Dad was at home. After that show he didn't come home for 3 days because Dad was furious at him.
Recently, Duterte spoke about another important episode of his life. He claims that as a child he became a victim of rape by a priest.
Yes, it's very hard and it strongly affected me.
If this is true, then the insulting epithets with which Duterte repeatedly attacks the Catholic clergy and even the Pope himself become more understandable.
I wanted to call the Pope and tell him, "You piece of trash, fall back and never come back. No one wants to see you here."
Another reason for his harsh attack on the pontiff is that Duterte got stuck with his motorcade in traffic jams during the Holy Father's visit to Manila and decided to use it for self-promotion.
What kind of stupid God is this? He created something perfect and then came up with a mechanism to destroy it all, and invented a way to tempt Adam. And then you aren't even born yet, and you're already burdened with some sin of Adam and Eve. I can neither understand nor accept this.
And yet even such attacks against Christians in the world's largest Catholic country go unpunished for Duterte. Nearly 80 million Filipinos turned a blind eye to religious criticism, believing that Rodrigo would handle the president's duties no worse than he did as mayor of Davao. Rodrigo Duterte still reacts emotionally to statements by the Catholic bishops, who defend human rights during the anti-drug campaign.
I will insist on such unpopular methods until the last dealer goes to hell.
In the Philippines, it is a nationwide hunting season. The scheme is simple: cops dressed in civilian clothes look for drug dealers, set up a controlled purchase, and right there on the spot it is either an arrest or a settlement with lead without trial and investigation. The official cover is the use of weapons for self-defense.
Do your duty, even if you have to kill thousands of people. I will protect you. My order is, shoot to kill. We'll talk about human rights later.
Rodrigo Duterte is in his 70s, but he still hasn't lost the ability to astonish. He loves karaoke. For example, he can personally crush an elite fleet of corrupt officials' cars with a bulldozer.
Nothing destroys the economy like corruption. I will crush all these corrupt officials, no matter what position they hold.
However, such show punishments look more like a performance with scapegoats appointed in advance, without having real consequences for the population. And being at the center of the action is what a politician, who can confidently be called the world champion of populism, of dictatorial populism, wants most of all.